Welcome back, everyone, to yet another installment of TXR, episode number 122, the prime place Sunday nights to listen to intense discussions on all things Xbox and everything else in the gaming industry. I'm your host, Invader, and I'm always thrilled to be here. And we've got a lot of hot topics this evening. But first, let me introduce you to the TXR panel crew. Megatron, buddy, how you been?
What's up, people? I've been doing good, Ready to talk some games. We had an excellent Monday, so ready to talk about all the news.
Well said, definitely, man. Yeah, let's get right into this. But first, Jeremy, hey buddy, how you been? You been playing anything good the past week?
Nah, I started Sekiro again, so I'm doing well in it. Actually, I kind of breezed through it. Now it's crunch time, and I'm getting my butt kicked from a couple of boss battles. But it's been a good week, you know.
Nice. What, are you playing on like a hard difficulty now or just regular?
Really, Invader Sekiro is like really hard.
Yeah, I don't think it has a.
No, I honestly I don't know. I haven't touched it, to be honest.
Oh my goodness!
I think there's just one mode, one difficulty.
Yeah, very hard. Kick your ass.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. I definitely gotta look into that game. Hey, Shock, my man, how you been? I see you've been upgrading and working out the parts for your Dreamcast.
Yeah, I've been doing some mods to that. I was trying to get it work with my PS2, but my hard drive I ordered, it's dead. So.
Oh man,
gotta order another one. Damn Seagate, should have gone Western Digital.
Yes, Western. Yeah, Western Digital is pretty good. Yeah, you got a new fan in there too, right?
Yeah, a new fan and a kind of like a FPGA board, if you know what that is. But yep, got that upgraded.
You got me nervous here. All my hard drives that are under my television are all Seagate. Are they that bad?
No, I mean I just ordered it, but I was just like, oh, cool. Is it going to do my PS2 thing, or basically the same thing to my PS2, like you saw there with my Dreamcast, where I put like the whole PS2 library.
Now, Shock, are you buying the actual games, or are you just emulating them? Yeah, okay. The copied games, okay.
Yeah. Well, they ain't reselling them anytime soon, so.
That's right.
Indeed. And hey, Centurion, great to see you, bud. By the way, really, really good video the other day highlighting our interview with Thomas Mahler. Excellent stuff.
Oh, thank you. And there's also an article to go along with it that should be appearing on lordsofgaming.net. I haven't checked to see if it's gone live yet, but as far as I know, they were kind of holding back a little bit of content to just make room for all the stuff that they got going on at PAX. But other than that, how you guys been?
Good.
I've been good, man. I kind of regret that I didn't go to PAX. You know, I've always wanted to go, and thought I was going to be somewhere else this time of the year. But looking at all the photos and stuff and info from the Iron Lords, yeah, I feel like I missed out on something great. So
I don't know, man. The way you're promoting the coronavirus, I'm not sure if you would have went over there.
Well, hey, man, it's scary times, man. I don't know.
It's not scary times, Jesus.
It's just the end of days.
Everybody settle down. This isn't 28 days later or anything like that. Just
it's not the London plague. Let's get over it.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see.
Again, cooler heads prevail, guys. But
E3 2020 on notice. You heard it here first.
Yeah, well, considering GDC is like officially canceled, that that's pretty rough. That's pretty bad when a whole bunch of developers there have to cancel.
There's a rumor going around saying that they're actually moving the date of GDC to a later date.
Postpone, yeah.
I don't know about, well, maybe. But you know what, guys? Before we head into tonight's first topic, I would just like to tell everyone listening in that we have a giveaway going on at the moment, and it is for a digital copy of The Division 2. Now, look at our pinned tweet on our Twitter profile on how to enter, and the contest ends March 9th. So coming up very soon, guys. Definitely check in on that tweet. And hey, we want to give away this code, the Division 2. Excellent game. A lot of people have picked it up the past week or so. So definitely get in on that.
Good job, guys. We're giving away a $3 game. All right.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Hard times on TXR, I guess. What a disaster. Oh, my God.
It's a great game, though. $3.
It is. It's a very good game. I'm glad I picked it up. But
it'll have so much more meaning for the person who won it from the awesome TXR podcast.
Stay tuned to everybody. That's more where that came from, too, by the way. We'll have plenty of $3
It's not about the price. It's the thought that counts, you know?
Yes, definitely. But you know what, guys? Let's dive right into our first topic. And, last week we had a whole bunch. Well, actually, earlier this week, we had a whole bunch of announcements from Microsoft. Microsoft dropped a massive amount of information on the Xbox Series X. And it was done by Phil Spencer over on Xbox Wire. He announced a whole bunch of new features that he shared with us. One being Quick Resume, which allows players to suspend multiple games at the same time, returning to the games near instantly without the need for the wait for the title to boot up. Also, another key new feature is Smart Delivery. Basically, it's a streamlined way to shift into the next generation of gaming. You buy your games on Xbox One once, and you get a free upgrade for the Series X. Now, according to Microsoft, it empowers you to buy a game once, and know that whether you are playing it on Xbox One or Xbox Series X, you are getting the right version of that game on whatever Xbox you're playing on. So, guys, definitely some interesting tidbits dropped here from Microsoft. What do you guys think of these new features?
So the thing, it's an absolute beast, no doubt about it. But the question is going to be, will the developers take advantage of the hardware? I think that's what it comes down to, because it is an insane piece of hardware, no doubt about it. But it remains to be seen whether or not, again, these people are going to take full advantage of the hardware. So, because games aren't being developed from the ground up using the platform like Sony is. Sony's games are developed exclusively for the platform. So I think you're going to see graphic comparisons between the PlayStation 5 exclusives and the Xbox One Series X multiplats. I mean, that's what essentially they are, multiplats, all over social media. And I don't think it's going to be in favor of the Xbox, even though it's going to be a superior system. And I mean, one could argue that, Rise, Son of Rome is still one of the most impressive games on just a regular Xbox platform to date. And that was way back in 2013. So I think, when it comes down to is, again, are we going to see games that take advantage of the system, or just are these just going to be multiplats, souped up? It just remains to be seen. So I think my favorite feature overall is that Quick Resume. I think it's very interesting. Just for the fact that you're going to be able to play multiple games and then just stop and go to another one and play another one, and kind of play multiple games at the same time, I hope. But we'll see. I mean, but what do you guys think about that? I mean,
well, if Hellblade is to be anything, I mean, that looked phenomenal, right? And was there not rumored to be running on the hardware that we're getting from the Xbox Series X?
Oh, yes.
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying. Are we gonna have games that take full advantage of the system hardware?
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
I just hope so.
Well, I don't see why they wouldn't take advantage, even with third party has to offer. I mean, 12 teraflops.
Well, that's
go ahead.
I was going to say that's the whole premise behind the Smart Delivery. It knows you're on a Series X. You're going to have assets and features and resolutions and all that good jazz that we never really see because it's always running in the background and we're all oohing and ahhing over it. But all that comes with playing on the Series X. You're never gonna get those assets delivered to an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X. They're gonna be on the Series X, and I mean, like, I really don't see how they're not going to take full advantage of it. It's their first party studios. Obviously, they're going to push their first party studios to take full advantage of what the Series X has to offer.
And then considering the fact that, most of the average gamer, usually they're playing third-party games anyway. But like I said, I mean, CD Projekt Red said it all, right? When you buy that game, you're going to get that updated patch, and it's going to take advantage of the system, if I'm not mistaken. So
you notice they didn't say PS5.
Yeah.
Well,
they might be under marketing contract, right?
It could be. Everybody was saying like, Sony's done this. Why are you guys all celebrating? I'm like, Sony did it for like super indie games, and never did it for any like their big first party games. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you should be celebrating it, because if Microsoft's doing that, then it's going to pressure them to do it. It's not an automatic definite that Sony's going to do it for like Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because obviously Microsoft has let us know that we won't have specific Series X exclusives going into like the next 1 or 2 years, but there will be games taking advantage of this. And we also got a bunch of like different tech details along with this information drop of features. It'll have DirectX ray tracing, so it'll have much better real-time lighting and reflections. And hey, if you've seen any of that stuff, like with the improvements on like certain games, like I've seen some really impressive stuff on, for example, Control, for the PC games that have similar tech. Man, like the reflections, it just absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to see how similar tech on the Series X does that to games. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Also, we have variable rate shaping, which helps devs prioritize individual effects on specific game characters or important environment objects. So a lot of really cool stuff going on here. And they also confirmed that the Series X will support 120 frames per second gaming. So, definitely some really cool stuff here.
And I do like how they gave a lot of information without releasing really any of the specs. I mean, yeah, it's going to be 12 teraflops, but that's about it. That's all they released. So,
yeah, well, it's interesting. It was just out of the blue, right, Jeremy? Because obviously we had done our show last Sunday, and then we wake up in the morning. Phil's just like sitting there at like 4:00 in the morning, and he puts out this release, Monday morning. Oh man, just out of nowhere, just dropping all this information. It was just really interesting to see them do that.
Yeah, it was just awesome that they finally confirmed. That is 12 teraflops. My favorite feature right now I'm looking at is the 4 generations of gaming, and just like they did with the X and everything else with backwards compatibility. I mean, I wonder if they're going to be taking advantage. Some of these games that were already released on the Xbox, are they going to be updating those? If they're going
I think it's going to be the same process as it is with the X, meaning developers are going to choose and pick whether or not they want to take advantage of the hardware. So
I hope so. I really do hope so, because I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone on this panel has a back catalog that's just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I want to see like Control. Control has already come out, and they have ray tracing as well, I think, for PC, if I'm not mistaken. If they're going to implement that with the new X Series X.
Well, that's what I was talking about, because that is just stunning, the difference between it being activated and not. Like I know some people have downplayed it, but to me, just the visual quality alone, it's just very impressive.
Now, they previously stated that there were some features that are not currently on PC. Have they announced those features yet? Anybody?
I think it has to do with the RDNA 2. That the RDNA 2 is not exactly available right now. You just can't go to your local Best Buy or hop online and buy RDNA 2 hardware, because that's what we were talking about on GRG. with 108 Dragons, me and Megatron on Friday night, and they were talking about how this could be potentially how AMD is actually showcasing RDNA 2 by using the Xbox Series X as this showcase for that product, because I've at least seen rumors and read a couple articles about how it could be released as early as around June for the personal individual to buy RDNA 2, or releasing sometime just before the consoles are released.
Yeah, it's a
maybe
custom,
even simultaneously.
Yeah, a custom designed processor leveraging AMD's latest Zen 2 and RDNA 2 architectures, delivering 4 times the processing power of an Xbox One and enabling developers to leverage 12 teraflops of GPU performance. So,
yeah, I guess like 12 teraflops of RDNA 2, if you do the math on it, is like I guess around 16 teraflops of what we're used to.
Equivalent, yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, I don't game on PC at all, like hardly ever. I tried once and it was a fail. Do they have suspend resume on PC currently? Is that a feature that they have on PC? Does anyone know?
I don't, but I think it has to do with what kind of drive you're using, if I'm not mistaken, and the software that's inside the game. So I'm not sure, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that either, because I don't game on PC all that often, besides the occasional RTS. But no, that'd be interesting to find out. Maybe if somebody in the chat knows.
So, Jeremy, you don't think that Rare and Sea of Thieves 2.0, when it comes out, is that going to take advantage of the full power of the 12?
I don't think. No, I don't think. I don't think.
Your favorite
well, I
games?
don't think Sea of Thieves Rare's gonna implement something like that, because number one is they want to have Sea of Thieves across all platforms, even if you're running on a low end PC, and I think they've stated that before. So I don't see them. I know it was a joke, but I don't see them taking advantage.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be curious, right?
If I could,
well, maybe in terms of frame rate. Go ahead, Centurion.
I was just wanting to say that it's kind of regretful that we haven't had a first party studio title kind of sell games off the shelf in the way I'm thinking with Red Dead Redemption 2, which was actually a game that was marketed by Sony. It was marketed in a way where it actually created confusion on it being an exclusive to the Sony platform. But if you read a lot of the reviews for the game and the people who were, oh my gosh, the picture junkies, people who look for that best experience to play, and it was actually selling Xbox One X's, because Rockstar Games took full advantage of what the Xbox One X had to offer. And that's where I'm looking for these big studios like CD Projekt Red, Rockstar Games, and some of the other bigger ones to actually take full advantage of the hardware, as well as Microsoft's first party studios, because there's no reason for them not to.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about as far as pushing the needle goes and bringing people over to Xbox. I think by having the most powerful system on the planet, console anyway, you can have people buy software on Xbox, play on Xbox, buy controllers, et cetera, and I think that's how you're going to move the needle.
Yeah, they definitely, though, they need their first party devs to pick up the pace and definitely showcase the console. I mean, obviously we've had trailers for, Hellblade 2, but Sony's first party studios, they do a really good job of showcasing like the in-house graphics. They definitely know how to push their consoles to the limit, and I want to see Microsoft's first party studios do that. I want to see 343 do that. I want to see big and small the big and small studios do that. I mean, we still haven't seen anything from, again, Compulsion and hey,
the Initiative.
Well, I was gonna say Turn 10, right? Turn 10, we haven't seen anything from them since 2017.
Playground.
So, oh yeah, so they'll definitely. I have a feeling we're gonna see a graphical showcase come E3. So that's if we get an E3 this year. So fingers crossed. Yeah. But you know what, guys? Kind of hitching on to that, we're going to continue this with our Xbox Series X talk. And there's also been some new details. And along with all the info dump, CD Projekt Red had confirmed that players who purchase Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One will receive the Xbox Series X upgrade for free. Now, according to CD Projekt Red, gamers should never be forced to purchase the same game twice or pay for upgrades. So, guys, what do you think about Cyberpunk 2077 being one of the first games announced for the smart delivery system? Because this seems like a very consumer-friendly move for them, both for CD Projekt Red and Microsoft, really.
Well, first, I want to say that Xbox picking up, the marketing rights for CD Projekt Red's epic game, Cyberpunk, is huge. The game's based off Mike Pondsmith's pen and paper tabletop. I'm not sure if people were familiar with that, but Cyberpunk will be, the tech behind it, Cyberpunk will be the first, I think, that has like that crowd, the new busy crowd tech. I'm not sure. So it's going to be interesting how the Series X, as well as the PCs, kind of use the technology that's given to them. So the game has been in development for, I think, over like a half a decade, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be worth the wait, but I think it's a nice add-on. And I think Centurion touched on it best when he compared, not compared, but he talked about Red Dead and the enhancements made on the X, and how that was, that was beneficial for the Xbox. And I think picking up Cyberpunk, with the marketing rights and the whole, easy transfer is going to be beneficial for it.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely, because that's one of the most, if not the most hotly anticipated game going into, the tail end of this gen. It's huge. It's massive.
Yeah, I think it's going to rival, Grand Theft. I think it's going to push Grand Theft Auto numbers. It might be too hardcore, maybe, to maybe push those kinds of numbers. But I think it's going to be probably the game of the decade. Could be, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I had the pleasure of seeing that behind the scenes during E3 2019, and it was, from what I saw, which they finally released to the public, was awesome. And I agree with you. I think it can possibly be the game of the decade easily. And I'm happy that they're going to take advantage of the X, and give it the Xbox Series X and give it the upgrade, especially off of the drama and everything, all the stuff about them saying that it was being delayed in the first place because of the Xbox. You guys remember that? So I think it was a definite plus. It sheds a positive light on things when it comes to Xbox. So I can't wait, man. It's definitely up. It's right under my Halo Infinite, and CD Projekt Red is like close second to Halo. So I can't wait, man.
When they push it back to now?
September. So, it's really, what do you like? We got a few comments in the chat here. Where is it? For example, there's Logic Win says that there's a rumor floating around that Cyberpunk 2077 may launch on Game Pass the same day it releases. What do you guys think about that?
Be huge.
That'd be crazy.
I'll be honest, guys. The likelihood of that, I don't know. Like that, my mind says to doubt it, but my heart says another. I don't know. Like, do we really think that Microsoft and CD Projekt Red are that close?
So they have a great relationship. I know personally for a fact that CD Projekt Red's had a great relationship with Microsoft for a long time. So,
well, it doesn't matter the relationship. It's whether or not. So this is what happens during these kinds of transactions. And again, I'm just kind of guessing. But usually what happens is, they come to the table with how many games they're going to sell or think they're going to sell
in that window.
And in that window. And if Xbox maybe they fall short of subscriptions or fall short of units, digital units sold or physical units sold, then what Xbox does is they'll cover that. So they'll write them a check for X amount of dollars, and that's how, basically that's how they're going to cover their losses or not. So, but it remains to be seen how many units this is going to pull. Now, let's say it does launch on Game Pass, then that's what they're going to do, as far as the subscriptions go. So, I don't know what you guys think on it, but that's my my take on it.
All figured out. That's the way it works. I don't know. I mean,
I guess, but
interesting guess.
Yeah.
I could see it maybe like 6 months after or something, but I don't think it's day one.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there. A few months after launch, I'd be shocked if it took place. That would definitely be the moment where the world would find out on, is Game Pass going to really be something that works for the long run? And if it was still successful sales wise and also did awesome on Game Pass, I see a move like that actually not meant to just sell the game, but also to sell consoles. How many people would go out and get consoles, or have Game Pass marketed Xbox One X's and S's with Game Pass subscriptions inside them so they can play Cyberpunk?
I can see them doing it as a pack-in during the holidays, like at launch around those times. Froggy T. Wright, he says he really doesn't think they want to lose the Christmas sales. Which I kind of agree with too. So, what to see?
Well, number one is we still don't know how many people have Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know those numbers. So what if it's only 2 million people? I'm just guessing. But what if it's 2 million? So they could still sell plenty of Cyberpunks. So I don't know.
Well, that's low. That's lowing. I don't know, man. Like, remember when they were giving away for $1 at E3 last year? Like, I think there's a little more than 2 million.
Well, they're giving them away for $1 for people to sign up and hope they stay on the subscription. Disney Plus didn't do that. They can. You got a free week, and then by the end of the free week, you were charged. What was it, $7 or something like that, or $9? I forgot how much it was. But now, Microsoft keeps coming out with that $1 subscribe, and it's for $1, hoping people, sign up and stay on the service. And, which is probably our next topic, which is the transparency topic. But they need to be more transparent with these numbers moving forward. I know why they don't do it, but yeah.
I don't care about the numbers. I mean, going to that topic, for me as a consumer, I don't care about how many subscriptions are to Game Pass. I could care less. Just give me my games, let me play them, and as long as my friends are there, I'm happy.
You know what? I agree, Megatron, but at the same time, it is kind of interesting, like, just to know, like, the numbers, like, how they're doing, right? So, especially when they tout it as a very successful subscription service. So, like, guys in the chat here saying, yeah, Jez from Windows Central estimating 20 million. Stick figures guessing.
That's a little high.
I'm in the 10 million camp on that one.
I think I
You're
remember
on the what?
Windows
You're in the 10
Central.
million?
Yeah, I'm in the 10 million camp.
Yeah, Stick Figures estimating that as well. Definitely some good guesses here, guys. You guys are in the chat are doing a pretty good job here. And again, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Froggy T. Wright, Chisno Elite, Stick Figure, Logic Wins, Hazard Man. A lot of cool people here tonight. Panther Crane. We appreciate you guys taking the time to join us, and we're having a really awesome chat here. But I'm just curious, guys, who here is thinking of getting Cyberpunk 2077 when it releases in September? Asking the chat and the panel, guys. Who on the panel is planning on getting it?
I think everybody. I think that's one of the most anticipated games, like I said, of the last last 10 years.
I already have it pre-ordered. The Collector's Edition is pre-ordered in Best Buy, and I'm hearing there's a rumor of a controller too. I'm definitely grabbing that. So whatever is, I got the player's guide, which I still collect those. That's on pre-order in Amazon. So I'm already day one.
CD Projekt Red is not going to fail at this game. It's going to be a Game of the Year contender, no doubt about it. And I think it's going to be interesting coming, the holidays when Halo releases and, shortly before or shortly after Cyberpunk. I think they're going to clash.
Let's play devil's advocate, though. Come on. What if this game actually turns into a situation that, it actually turns out to not be something that everybody... It turns out, let's just say, it turns out into an Anthem situation.
I know it's not, but it's gonna.
No, I mean,
it'll be the biggest disappointment in gaming history.
They showed crap when it came out. No. This is different. I mean, go back to their video that they're showing gameplay. They're showing you gameplay like this. This is legit.
I'm basing it just on faith, and the track record of CD. And you could say the same thing about BioWare, but BioWare wasn't the same after the EA acquisition. So, but we'll see. I mean, you could play devil's advocate.
Because I'm looking forward to the game. It's just, forgive me. I remember when everybody was going around. Anthem is going to be the next thing since sliced bread. Destiny,
and I was
Killer,
one of them.
I
was one of them.
Anthem, and then all of a sudden, Anthem came out, and it was like, oh boy. So now I'm like, it's that whole thing of like, you don't want to get yourself too hyped up just for stuff like that to happen, I guess.
I don't know, man. I think to me, this game.
Yeah, like I said, I have rules. I have a little bit more faith in CD Projekt Red than EA or Anthem. I mean, I'm sorry, EA or BioWare.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red have kind of, slowly proven themselves to like listen to their fan base and just be really pro-consumer in a lot of ways. But I'm looking forward to it as well, Cyberpunk 2077, and I will most likely get it. Even though I have a massive backlog, I know we always talk about the backlogs, but it looks so impressive. I gotta get it.
I don't think there's around that time, so because Halo's probably not coming out until November. Ghost of Tsushima is probably not worth, especially if you've played Sekiro.
Sekiro.
Well, I'm sure in the coming months we'll find out about a whole bunch of games that we didn't even know about. So we will definitely see. And you know what, guys? Going on to our next topic. And recently, Xbox head Phil Spencer spoke with Insomniac Games head Ted Price, who also hosts the Game Maker's Notebook, the official podcast for the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. Now, during this conversation, there was a bunch of interesting takeaways, including Phil calling for greater transparency on key issues in the gaming industry. One being, just again, an example here, development crunch. And he stated that now it kind of feels like outside looking in is where a lot of the negative analysis comes from, and sometimes rightfully so. He continues saying, but I would like us to be at the forefront of that as well. If we want to talk about crunch, if we want to talk about game loops that are exploitive, all these things, I'd much rather see us have an open conversation with each other. And he went on to a whole bunch of other things as well. But guys, what do you make of Phil's comments on the industry? Because besides crunch, they highlighted other concerns.
Yeah, he was a little vague about it, I think. I do find it interesting how this piece came out. Probably the same day the report came out that Mixer morale was low. I just find it interesting, but
we'll touch on that later. But yes,
transparency means a lot of things. Like I said, so what is he talking about? But in business, relationships, friendship. But for myself, I think transparency is about. We spoke about this in my last job. Transparency is about sharing information and telling the truth with integrity. Having integrity is the most important thing we can do as human beings, is have integrity with everything that we do. So you heard the saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but I'm sure Phil and the team would love to have fans see how the bread is baked inside Microsoft's headquarters, but to show them that they're listening, obviously, but when you do that, it kind of hinders conversation internally with its own teams. On top of that, knowing that others are watching, like on YouTube and other streaming platforms, and just listening to everything from like Twitter posts, blog posts, YouTube, everything, kind of influences people. And I think you see that. You guys see that in some of these statements that people make, whether it's Phil's VR statements, and then he goes back and later explains to what he was talking about, and it's just different. So what I would agree with Phil is his quotes saying, the more public we are, the more we own our opportunities. What do you say? The more we own the opportunities we see. So I think what he means by that is, the more open we are, the more we talk about it, the more
things get fixed, maybe. Or...
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what he means by it. But I do think it's interesting how, the Mixer report came out and then this came out at the same time. But what do you guys think about that? You think, Phil, on one end, you think Phil should listen to the fans and get all the feedback and just talk about it? Or you think he should give and take a little bit about, the feedback and going on with Xbox and kind of working with that? I mean, what do you guys think about it?
What do we need to know as fans? Maybe unless it's something like pertains to, like, okay, so I'm going to buy a store. I mean, I'm anticipating a game that's coming out, maybe like Scalebound, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, I would probably want to know why it was canceled. Is that what he means? Because anything other than that, I just want to buy my game and play it. Like, I care less.
So he was talking about internally, with internal problems within the teams and transparent. I'm sorry.
So who's he asking the question to? Like, I'm trying to find the thing that you guys posted up here. But is he asking us? Is he telling us?
I think it was he was talking to Insomniac.
Ted Price.
Okay,
Ted Price. But he was talking about how diversity plays a role and how it's important. But that's what I'm saying. He was really vague about what he was talking about on this. So, I mean, transparency could mean a lot of things, just like I said. But like I said, if you listen to everybody and you're transparent about everything and you're just throwing it out there and you try to fix those problems about what other people say, you're going to have a lot of problems moving forward, because all this information's coming out and you're trying to use all that information instead of sticking to your guns, like what she's doing right now. Feels very pro. He has a plan and he's doing everything in his power to make sure that plan's setting Xbox up for the future.
Mm-hmm. I'm wanting to kind of just, because I read the article, and what I took away from it is Phil wants people to also be able to take the bad with the good. They all see the glory of the gaming industry, and it puts a false perspective on what people think is really going on. And if they get into the gaming industry, that it's going to be like this false narrative that seems to be out there. He wants them to be able to be transparent about some of the things that go along with the industry, like crunch, games that get canceled. It is a very demanding industry, because we see how demanding fans get.
So he says that, but on the flip side is, there was no transparency with Lionhead. There was no transparency with
press play.
With press play. There was no transparency why Scalebound got canceled. There was no transparency about how Xbox was going to get their software fixed and why the games are we're going through development struggles, and why people were talking bad at Lionhead, and why people's morale were low at Lionhead, and it was a snowball effect.
So
and now he's talking about being transparent. Just to me, it's I don't want to say he's being hypocritical, but
I mean, a lot of that was on the old regime as well. So that's probably stuff he couldn't say before when he wasn't like VP. But
see, that's where I'm with Shockley, because I'm gonna look at it from I'm not gonna. I don't, I've talked to you in private, Downer, and sometimes talking about your past is really hard, even for an individual, let alone a company. And that was actually a very troubled time for Xbox. There was rumors floating around at that time that the Xbox brand was going to be sold off, that Nadal over there had no desire to keep going in gaming because he didn't see any potential. Phil Spencer turned a lot of that around. Right. And I think he's really wanting to put that behind him now, because at the time, Phil Spencer may be the man, Phil Spencer, but he wasn't in the position that he is in now during those troubled times. He was just getting to the point where he could sit next to Nadal at the CEO table and actually be able to get some pull with him. And he didn't, as soon as he got to that table, it's not like he could be like, hey, this is what I need, blah, blah, blah. He had to sit there and convince him why the Xbox brand was a viable brand and they should continue investing in it. Now here we are 15 studios later. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of chaos that occurred on the way. But I think Phil Spencer did a really good job with at least what was at his disposal and what he had to work with. And definitely, I'm pretty sure he's wanting to do things differently now. This isn't how he wanted to start off a generation, for sure. Yeah. And that's why he's looking forward to this next generation, because he wants to give Xbox a fighting chance kicking off a generation.
And that's why I said what he said it was kind of vague. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know what you guys took away from it, and whether or not it was vague or not. But to me, the message, about transparency was a little vague.
It depends.
I'm just getting through this now, and I think this is more just the industry in itself and the things that go on inside, and it really has nothing to do with the consumer per se.
You have to listen to the consumer, but I know what he's talking about. I mean,
they're just talking about more internal things. I'm looking here. Yeah,
I'm as a small joke, we all know how the chicken is cooked. We all know that it should be cooked at a certain temperature and all that good jazz. But over at KFC, they're not giving us the secret herbs and spices. They're communicating to us they know how to cook, but they're not going to tell us how they do it.
And that's right. And that was my point to where
it's good.
That was my point to where you only give your fans only so much to a point to where if you give them too much, it kind of hinders development and just what's going on at Xbox internally.
We definitely, as fans, need to understand that just because we bought a console or invested in the ecosystem in some way, shape, or form does not make us stockholders, and doesn't mean we should have access to information that really doesn't pertain to us. We should just play our games and be merry and not worry about what the real internal struggles of the company are.
I disagree with you on that one a little bit, but just from a consumer's perspective, I mean, Xbox makes a lot of money off us. To say that we're not shareholders, I think. I don't know. We put a lot of money into Xbox, so
we put a lot of money into Xbox. Understandably, that's where they need to. I just don't feel like Xbox hasn't listened to me. Xbox has given me what I need to feel comfortable investing in the ecosystem, and I haven't really had a problem with not knowing details like how many people are truly in Game Pass, how many active users are on Xbox Live, how many units sold, because I'm not concerned about those parts of the business. I, as a consumer, feel like I am at least getting what I'm paying for.
That's how I feel. Unless it's something internal, like you hear about some type of sexual harassment or child labor laws or something like that again, right? I agree with you. Like I can care less.
Yeah.
Like as long
And
as
I know why they
paid
don't
and-
release. Yeah, I know why they don't release those kinds of numbers. It's because they're Phil and Satya are protecting their shareholders. That's what it
Exactly.
comes down
Yep.
to. And I understand me, but on the flip side of that, you have other companies that release their numbers.
Everyone's got a different
Whether
business model and how they,
yeah,
have what
it
they
just
chosen.
depends.
Yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
do believe, guys, that it does. They do need to have more conversations in the gaming industry and highlight all the issues that are just big problems, whether it be for consumers or just just general industry things. Like, for example, Phil did mention predatory monetizations, and you do see this a lot. I mean, certain publishers and developers are worse than others for sure. You look at sports games, for examples, a lot of them are littered with bloody loot boxes and microtransactions. I mean, you look at FIFA, right? Just bloody littered with it. And they're not even too worried about trying to fix the game. They only add they put a new touch of paint on it and just add a couple of little moves here and there, update the roster, and then that's it. And then for DLC, they make like billions of dollars off of DLC alone. Fighting games, heck, you have Dead or Alive 6 right now. They have about $1,200 worth of DLC that you can get.
Dear Lord.
Is that all cosmetic? All cosmetic?
I'm pretty sure most of it's cosmetic, but still, that's unheard of. I'm not even kidding about the
See, in a
numbers.
situation like that, then just don't buy it.
Well, listen. If you want to see, 36E titties in your face 500 different ways, then you can buy, that content. Right? I mean, really, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for those. You're not paying to look at those swimsuits. You're paying to look at how the swimsuit looks in those. Yeah.
Didn't they make it?
What was your question?
What was what?
Well, part of it's free to play. You still have to play for the core game.
Mhm.
You still have to pay for some of the fighters, et cetera, et cetera.
I thought they were kind of doing like a Killer Instinct.
Something sort of similar to that, but I mean, yes, it is optional, but at the same time, like there's just a lot of it out there. Like there's a lot of really gross DLC out there, and it just you want to see quality content, not just pay like $1 for a different hair color kind of a situation. But I still think the sports DLCs are like the worst for that. I mean, again, you look at FIFA, EA is. They weren't ranked as one of the worst publishers around, one of the worst companies around, without, a reason, right? But what Phil touched on, though, I mean, these conversations are good to have about transparency in the industry. But I do understand what Jeremy talks about, though, because he is being a little bit on the vague side when it comes to certain things. But slowly but surely, we are having these conversations, and they are important. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you like what Phil is saying? Do you want to see more of that in the gaming industry? Have more of these conversations about crunch and all that? Because, I mean, really, we should be talking about that, I think. But, we're going to move on. And, speaking about crunch and transparency, as Jeremy had alluded to earlier, we're going to move on to a very, I'll say, revealing topic. And it's also very concerning. And there was a report released earlier this week saying that morale over at Microsoft's Mixer team is very low. And of course, Mixer is Microsoft's streaming service, formerly Beam. And while it was reported months ago that the original founders had left, I think we had touched on that. Yeah. What hasn't been reported, though, is that an additional 16 layoffs have happened because of budget constraints, budget cuts. Mm-hmm. And that number, it's about 25% of an already small team. So that's pretty significant, kind of a skeleton team there. Now, with this going around is a video of an internal Mixer town hall. It features the newly appointed general manager, Shipla Yadla, talking to employees. But instead of calming things down, it just kind of has the reverse effects. During her talk on the concerns of the Mixer employees, she refers to their feedback as blah, 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 and considers issues as negative feedback. She says that she is not there to sympathize with anybody. So, kind of harsh stuff here, really, especially when we just talked about transparency. So, guys, yeah, some enlightening stuff here. What are your guys' takes on this? Because as Microsoft has tried to be they've obviously tried to be a bit aggressive with the service. So how do you feel about the whole Mixer morale situation?
So when things are bad, stuff like this comes out. When things are really bad, it's just you're going to see reports like this come out. And for those who have ever been into in a town hall meeting, what it is you go, it's a business meeting. You go in there, you talk about the numbers, and then you talk about concerns, and then that's what
apparently that's what
that's what the manager did was, I don't know. Was this their boss, Invader? Right?
It's the newly appointed general manager. Yeah.
Talk about setting the wrong impression, giving the wrong impression to people, and then just setting a bad example.
If you watch through that video, it is like
I want to watch it, but
oh my god, this lady's insane. Like, yeah. So, first of all, Mixer's never gonna catch up to Twitch or YouTube. It's not gonna. Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen, and it has nothing to do with who brings over the biggest names and who has the best service. None of that matters. What matters is people are afraid of change, especially when it comes to social platforms like Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff. Because Twitch and YouTube are embedded, and I mean embedded into the video game culture. Nobody will ever leave, just like nobody's ever going to leave Facebook. Nobody's ever going to leave Twitter or any other platform. Let me ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
Tim's not here. Tim has almost 20,000 followers, but you think Tim's ever going to consider leaving Twitter for another platform? Why? Why do you think that is? I know you guys laugh, but why do you think that is? And it's the same reason why you guys will never leave those platforms, because your friends, the things you love, your sense of status. Same applies here. Same applies, to Mix. I know we're kind of
sometimes when you just already established there, you're already there, and it's just
no, that's totally different. That's totally different.
Saying, like, it's just
you're talking about apples and oranges. The point is, Mixer is dying, and there's not a single thing that Microsoft can do about it. I'm sorry, but it's a culture thing. So, but as far as the manager saying what she said, and morale being low, you think you would hear these kinds? Did we hear these kinds of things when they signed Ninja, or they brought over these other big names from Mixer? Everything was all peachy, and we thought Mixer was going to go be the next best thing since sliced bread. It didn't happen. So, and there's nothing they can do, really. They can't, barring, some major shift in the cosmos, it's not going to happen. So, but that's my take on it.
Well, remember, it was reported that for Ninja alone, Microsoft had paid, I want to say something like $20 million, something like that.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Like,
that's insane.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for this lady though, because if this video is true, I'm pretty sure that doesn't go with the Microsoft way of thinking. Because Phil Spencer is actually from what I hear, a vast majority of the Microsoft higher ups are pretty easy to deal with individuals, and when you got someone that's talking like that, it doesn't look good for the image of Microsoft. And so what we've seen a lot lately is Microsoft gets in front of this stuff real quick, and I'm not going to be surprised if we end up hearing something from Microsoft about this whole incident.
Yeah.
Well, it's possible, but I mean, obviously, this internal video is not supposed to be shown out, but it is very
Exactly, and that's where
illuminating.
they would want to get in front of it if it was like that, where it's not supposed to be revealed, and maybe they were unaware of this situation.
But
That's like-
exclusively talking. Oh, go ahead, Shotgun.
Oh, it's like impossible these days. Like, not to be political, but there's that I think reporter or news anchor that got like demoted because he was talking like nothing crazy, but he was talking in like I think they're in like a formal like just meet and greet with people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Phone like recording and like took stuff out of context, but it's like you can't even have a personal conversation with somebody, drinking, at a get together, and someone's recording you or has some type of recorder in their pocket. It's like,
Yeah. Well, it depends what kind of state you're in. So depending on the state, it's either a one party or two party, whether or not you're able to record somebody or not. I guarantee you, if you're in a two party state, you would have to notify the person that you're recording, saying, "Hey, we're recording you," and you can't. For things like that. But
now I'm curious, in the chat, do any of you guys use Mixer? Because I use it occasionally. I'll admit I don't stream as much. I go kind of, I kind of prefer Twitch personally, but I mean, Mixer's not bad. I've never had any issues with it. Anybody here on the panel stream a lot, or?
I've been trying.
No, we've been trying. I've been trying, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Like Mixer's a nice alternative. It's just I kind of just prefer the way Twitch is, right? So I just find it more reliable.
But that's what I'm saying. People are so comfortable and accustomed to what those platforms offer, and you won't leave because you've already developed a base, and you've streamed on it, and you have fans on it, and people watch you on it, and it's an investment kind of, and that's why people they'll never migrate to Mixer ever. So I don't care what you do, but like I said, barring some major, what happens if I know it's impossible, but someone would have to be bought out for them to be a major change.
Or you could see them implementing a rule that just totally peeved off the community.
Like what?
Well, kind of like like what happens with the YouTube community, how you get like strikes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like if they started doing stuff like that, you could alienate people to go to the other service.
Yeah. So I know with the YouTube, people were a little irked about that, but was it enough for people to massively quit? And you have to in order for that to happen, you have to have another alternative. And not to say that Mixer's not the other alternative, but
I will say there's other alternatives to YouTube, but they're nothing on the scale of YouTube.
Right.
No, of course, but
and that's what I mean by it's embedded in our culture. It's just it's basically a way of life. It's everything to people, and for people to just up and switch, and that's what they don't get. That's I don't know why they spend all this money bringing over people like Ninja, and it just, to me, it's just wasted money. And I could have told you that.
That's the thing too. It's not just Ninja. There's Shroud, and there's a few other names there as well.
Right.
And like Ninja does get. I mean, he does get a whole lot of viewers on Mixer, but yeah, I'm still not seeing like the same draw rates as to what Twitch is going at, and I don't know, guys. Like, I haven't really seen any big new features implemented into Mixer as of late, and it's not the same talk, right? Everybody still uses Twitch, as far as I know.
So But in order to change, you have to change the entire Mixer program, and looking at from what you can do about that. I mean, just I don't. Yeah, you're streaming games. Well, what else can you do? You have to think outside the box, and that's what these leaders are tasked to do. Is trying to think outside the box, bringing people over to Mixer. How can they do that?
Mm-hmm. No, that's true. But it's just amazing how much of a small team Mixer has, because you're talking about a company that is one of the richest companies on the planet, and they have such a skeleton team. You have Microsoft Game Studios, for example. They're doubling their bloody studios, and they keep buying studios, but yet they're slowly dwindling their streaming service.
Yeah, it's a little bit different with Mixer though, because it's at the end of a game cycle, you have a finished project and then you sell it. All up to what the budget is. But in this case, you can't. If you're leaking money, you can't just throw money at it and hoping it's going to get fixed. You know what I mean? So it's what happened. You can't spend a fortune on payroll and to fix the problem and have all these people work for Mixer. That's why they had cutbacks. You can't have all these people working when the top isn't, when things aren't going well, because that's how you go bankrupt. That's how companies go bankrupt. So not to say that Mixer is going to make Microsoft bankrupt, but if there's a leak, then Microsoft has to plug it up. And if there's and they do that with just controlling the cost. That's why there's a skeleton crew. That's why there's a skeleton crew, working on Mixer right now because of that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hope they eventually get that all fixed. So I mean, they are investing a lot of money getting these guys in.
Well, the employees aren't going to come.
Maybe they're making the cutbacks to just rethinking on staff to just rehire.
Well, that's where people get disgruntled and they get unhappy because there's cutbacks, because people are leaving, because people's friends are leaving, because the working conditions aren't good, because they're working on the scouting crew. They're working, I don't know what they're working.
Workload, of course.
Workload's different. Yeah. There's a lot of pressure on them because things aren't good. When things aren't good, you have a lot of stress and there's a lot of pressure involved. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I mean, I do want Mixer to succeed. I do think that they're still going to carry it forward. I don't see them getting rid of it anytime soon, because going into next gen, I mean, as somebody, I think it was, I can't remember who it was in the chat, but going into next gen, obviously streaming is going to be in their best interest moving forward, and who knows what other plans they have yet to announce.
I think they're going to make some big moves with Mixer next gen to try to establish it as a brand before, they start, I guess, officially considering it a lost cause.
I like the fact that I could just go into my console and hit broadcast, and everything is just seamlessly all just kind of ties in together. And it's only the mixing. It's all I know, per se. I'm not really familiar. I'm actually barely familiar with Mixer and all its ins and outs. But I go in, play my games, hit broadcast, and I know the people in the party chats, voices are broadcast, and it just works. But I hope they get it figured out, because I enjoy doing it when I do stream. I mean, it is fun. So, but I just hope they get it fixed, and
yeah, it's a well-built system, at least from when I've experienced it. So
another Zinc says the Xbox division makes plenty of money. This is nothing. Well, each branch or each entity that Xbox owns, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Mixer, whether it's Xbox, they report to the top, but at the end of the day, they function almost separately. They all have their separate budgets. They all, that's why everyone thinks that throwing money at it is the way to go. Yeah, they're throwing money at it, but that's not Microsoft's budget. It is Microsoft's budget, but you know what I mean. It's Mixer's money trying to move what they need to move in order to have people come to their platform. But yeah, I was just wanted to make a comment on what other Zinc was talking about.
Of course. Well, it'll be interesting to see in the near future what happens with Mixer, if they have any more features to announce and so on, or even if they address any of these reports coming through. But again, I like Mixer. I think it's a pretty good service as it is. I don't really use it as much. Again, I use more Twitch, but I hope it succeeds. And I just hope they address these issues, because it's a shame when companies, kind of, they don't listen to the feedback of their employees. But we'll see.
So, Invader, let me ask you this question: how come you don't move over to Mixer?
I just have more experience with Twitch. I have more of a following on Twitch. That's why.
Okay, so that's basically what it is. You have more of a following on Twitch than you do on Mixer. Not because you're more comfortable with the platform. I mean, that's part of it. But yeah, because you have more followers on Twitch than you do Mixer, right? And you don't want to let that go, and you don't want to start from scratch again, essentially, correct?
Well, there's an aspect to that, of course. I mean, I'm not denying that. You're absolutely right. But I don't know. I just kind of prefer even just the layout, and I'm just more comfortable with it. Yeah.
So think from that perspective. What would bring you over to Twitch? I mean, to Mixer. Think about that, and that's what these managers have to think about, and that's what these people have to think about. How can you get these people to move over from, from their platform to another?
Name your price, Invader.
Centurion, you have any thoughts on that?
Tell me.
I know you're.
What would it take for Invader to get over to Mixer? Yeah. $1,000. Come on down.
Tree fitty.
Centurion, what do you think about that?
What was your question?
Never mind. Go to sleep.
I know. I knew your question, but you're asking what it's going to take to get people to come over to Mixer.
Right.
You would have to make it completely different than Twitch.
Yep.
You would have to make it completely
100%.
different, and you would have to make it appealing. You would have to look at all the complaints, gripes, and everything else that has made people not enjoy Twitch, but look at why they put up with it.
Yeah,
and
we need streamers in here.
Because I hear a lot of people with Mixer get alienated real quick because Mixer promotes the celebrity streamers, the ones that have already established themselves. Where Twitch, it's easier to get found when you're not a celebrity.
Really?
So
I feel like people have always said the opposite.
Really? Okay.
Like people are going to Mixer because there's nobody big on it, so it was easier to people to find you.
That was before Ninja and them.
Oh, okay.
This is what I hear from the only person I know that streams as on the daily. If I'm correct, he does it at least 5 times a week, and he actually streams on Mixer and Twitch, and he actually just recently started his Twitch channel. He actually migrated from Mixer to Twitch. So I think that it's just the politics of Mixer that alienate people from trying to make it a long-term thing. At least that's the impression I'm getting from the stories he talks about.
But yeah, I do agree with you 100% that they need to think outside the box as far as bringing people over, not just throwing money on these, let's call them what they are. Maybe influencers. You want to call them influencers?
They're wanting to throw money at it. They need to find a way to make it really easy for these streamers to get paid by being on the Mixer platform.
Yep.
And, I'm going to be up front, you just gave X amount of $1 million to Ninja. If you were to allocate some funds to get some kind of a system going where it's very easy for you to get paid by streaming on Mixer, you would get a huge following that leave Twitch real quick.
So what's it take to become a Mixer partner? I mean, are we all?
No.
I mean, we're talking about
as far as I know, I don't do it. So if someone in the chat corrects me, please, again, I don't do it. I can only go off of what I hear. But you need to have so many subscribers. you need to have so much of a watch time. You know how like on YouTube they have watch times, like the average view duration and all that. You have to have like a legit watch time, like people actually tune in and stay tuned in. I guess it's a lot. And sometimes when you submit to be a partner, they don't always okay you, and they never tell you why. From what I hear, they just say you weren't approved, try again. And I've talked to people that have tried 2 or 3 times before finally being accepted to being a partner on Mixer. But it's also the same on Twitch. I guess it's just a lot easier to deal with on Twitch. I don't really know the whole ins and outs. We'd have to bring him on the show one night, and maybe he would be able to tell you more.
Yeah,
you guys know who he is. I just don't know his name.
I would really like to know like somebody that actually streamed to be able to tell me all the differences between YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch, because I don't stream, so maybe like even know the answer to all of this. Like, what would entice me? I mean, what are all the different companies doing? You know,
well,
so
he gets in. That's why I'm saying maybe one night with your guys' permission, we'd have him on and you can ask him. But I guess they have like on Mixer. What's the currency on Mixer? Isn't it like some kind of like
Embers?
Embers, yeah.
Embers, and Twitch has its own, and like he can even tell you about how that works, because that's actually part of the monetization that they receive.
Oh, absolutely. But well, again, guys, we'll see further down the line what happens with Mixer. I hope the best, but they still have a road to climb. But you know what? We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to our next topic, our final topic for the evening, and I'm gonna ask everybody here: could we see Kojima Productions working on the next Silent Hill game? Now,
No.
Oh, all right. Now,
Konami still owns the rights to Silent Hill.
Absolutely.
So,
But it just, there's some interesting teases here going on, and chat, listen in here. And a few days ago, Kojima Productions, they shared an image of Hideo Kojima working on something secretive with something, with some very interesting takeaways, some hints. Now, for starters, the tweet stated, and I quote, "Sorry to be silent." Now, obviously, an interesting choice of words considering Kojima's Silent Hill connections. And also of note is Kojima holding like a pyramid brand pencil, also another reference to a popular Silent Hill character. Now, and there's some other stuff hidden in there as well. Now, fellas, obviously, we only have some teases here, and there's some complications, as Jeremy was alluding to. But do you guys think it's likely that we'll see Kojima Productions' next game being a new Silent Hill title? Because again, there are connections here. Some.
I think the latter is, he can just rename the thing. You don't have to call it Silent Hills. You can name it whatever the hell he wants and make his own horse spin on it. Now, it couldn't, it can't be anything affiliated with Silent Hill whatsoever. You can't talk about the lore. You can't talk about, you can create its own creatures, obviously, but you can't mention Silent Hill. It can't be in the same, even vicinity. But no, really, he would have to call it under a different name. And has any of you played the PT demo?
I did.
At all, besides myself?
Yeah, I have it on my. You can re-download it too if you delete it. So just so you know.
No, you can't. I tried re-downloading it, and it didn't let me.
You can do it.
What?
Yep.
What demo?
I'll send you the link.
The PT. Cool. Thanks, Shock.
The what?
It's the PT, the Silent Hills demo.
PT. I think it stands for playable. Playable teaser. I think that's what it stands for. PT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would like to see the Silent Hill series come back. It's my favorite horror series of all time, just for the stories alone. So yeah, the only thing that can happen also is Konami could publish them, but I doubt it, because I can't remember another game besides its own franchises where Konami has published a game under its banner. So I have no idea how it can happen. But yeah, Kojima could call it something else. Maybe you can call it Silent Mountains. No, I'm just kidding.
Or
There's going to be some crazy DLC to whatever that game was, Death Stranding, because as long as I'm not carrying, backpacks. Did you ever finish that game, by the way, Jeremy? Like, as long as he's not carrying backpacks and whatever. I guess.
Which one?
Death Stranding. Did you ever finish? Like,
oh no, I haven't finished it yet.
Okay.
I haven't finished it yet.
I mean, I don't like horror games.
I think maybe Shock is probably the only one who's played the original, either 1, 2, or 3 of the Silent Hill series.
Hell no.
What?
They're on OG Xbox.
I had an N64 back in 95.
Oh, Shock.
I believe I played Silent Hill 2 on the PS2.
I was in 87, so I wasn't.
Wow.
I was like 10. So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Made the right choice because a lot
Silent-
of those games on PlayStation were dog shit.
No.
And platformers, no platformers to speak of on PlayStation. Dog
Silent
shit.
Hill 2 is probably the best horror game.
But
of all
RPGs,
time.
they had them. That was super good.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah. I mean, what did you think of Silent Hill 2, Centurion?
I'll be up front. I wasn't a big fan.
Why?
I don't know. For some reason,
controls.
I enjoyed the heck out of Resident Evil, but you put me on Silent Hill, I was just I felt bored.
It's hard to go from Resident Evil 2 to that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, Silent Hill is not known for its gameplay. That's for sure. It's known for its
the most
lore.
I played was like 4,
story.
which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well, I
Very
beat it.
interesting.
I remember beating it. It was just maybe it was the fact that I started Silent Hill 2 as my first Silent Hill game. So I had no like backstory or anything like that. But I mean, there was times where you're just like, I felt like I was bored and I wanted more action than what I was getting.
Right. Yeah. But I think Silent Hill 2 has probably one of the best story elements in video game history. I mean, if anybody knows the story of Silent Hill 2, it's probably the best out of the series. I don't know. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Well, Silent Hill is definitely known, obviously, for its atmosphere and storytelling. And just general uneasiness. But
so the short story behind Silent Hill 2 is, the main character got a letter from his wife telling him to go to Silent Hill, right? So it turns out, I mean, to make everything short, she did send him a letter. However, she tells him to go to his, our special place, which is the lake in Silent Hill. So he goes there and he goes into the room that they were engaged in and blah, blah, blah. And he pops in the tape into the VCR and it shows a recording of him killing his wife. So he killed her. And the reason why he killed her was because she made his life miserable because she had cancer and he had to take care of her. And that's the reason why he killed her. So in the end, you face off against your wife on her deathbed, and she's sick. Basically, she's sick on her deathbed, and that's who you're fighting. You're fighting a demon. It's just a crazy story. I like it.
Sounds interesting. I never played it, so I never played the Silent Hill.
Yeah, you can buy it on the Xbox store.
they got a few titles.
Yeah. I'd go back and play that. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Like I would definitely check out. I played maybe one of the Silent Hill games, but it's definitely a series that I don't have a lot of experience with myself. But I would definitely like to go back to some of those earlier games. They should do like a remake of the first one. I mean, it has a lot of accolades, obviously. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But so you guys don't think that Kojima and Konami would be interested in, kind of mending things and working on a new Silent Hill project?
Well, maybe they'd be better like just remastering, some of this stuff so people can get re-interested in it. Because I don't remember, I've never played any of the games. It sounded interesting from what Jeremy said, but like I never really.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite.
I feel like
horror series
Kojima
of
could
all
just
time.
make the game he was going to make anyway. and they couldn't really stop him. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, that a lot of that was a teaser. So a lot of his other ideas, like whatever he was planning, like they can't come back and say like, "Hey, that's our work." They didn't even know he was making this. Like, apparently, the rumor is that he had a separate team of his Fox or whatever his studio making this, and that's where it kind of got silent dropped during like E3, and he was like chief executive like officer of Konami, so he could make a lot of those calls, and he had ties with what's Andrew House, so they dropped it, and then that's where people were saying that's where a lot more bad blood was coming with Konami. They were like, "Hey, you can't fucking do that. That's like, like you can't just like we didn't authorize you to do this." And that's when Konami immediately pulled it. Like it was there for like a couple weeks, and then they said, if you didn't already re-download it, like it's gone. So that's why they freaked out and pulled it so quick, because they were like, because it blew up overnight. Because people were like, "What is this?" Because it was called PT. No one knew it was Silent Hill or whatever. So that's the rumor behind it. To make Konami look terrible.
Funny enough, I was hearing something. I remember it was like a month or two ago about. Well, the rumor was that Kojima Productions was going to be bought by Sony, and that they were working on a Silent Hills related game. So I don't know, guys. I mean,
well, they can't. That's what I'm saying. They can't do it. They can't do it. Konami owns it unless
just
Konami publishes them. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Like you can make Ukulele, even though it's basically Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, good one there. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, instead of Silent Hill, it would be like Loud Mountain or something. I don't know.
Wow. Or making Halo, you can just name it Killzone.
Life Stranding. I don't know.
Life Stranding.
Boom. Yeah, but no, it'll be interesting, guys. I would like to see that. That universe.
Someone needs to put that
revisited,
shit in VR.
I know the one title that would make Jeremy freak out if he ever saw it on PlayStation.
Which one?
Ocean of Thieves.
I've never heard of it.
No, I'm saying if they were to rip it off,
I'm like,
if they were to make a rip off of Sea of Thieves, you'd have Ocean of Thieves.
oh my god.
No, it's Ocean of Givers.
They do. What's that one game that who makes it? The makers of Ark makes it. It's the
you're talking about
version
Atlas?
Atlas. Yep. That's basically Sea of Thieves, a better version of Sea of Thieves.
Here we go with the bashing and Sea of Thieves game of the century.
So look at if Sea of Thieves had Atlas's depth, then that'd be game of the year easily. So just throw in Atlas's depth in Sea of Thieves, and it'd be the best game ever made.
I saw a glitch montage for Atlas that made me not want to buy that game.
But that's what I'm saying. The aesthetics of the game is horrible. That's why I won't go and play Atlas. But you throw it in the body of Sea of Thieves, and we're talking some major gameage here.
You were having fun the other night with us on Sea of Thieves.
Nah.
I should have shot him in the back when he was carrying that barrel up those stairs, man. I wanted to so bad. I should have pulled the just for this show, just for the
get a little highlight reel going.
Oh my gosh!
Put it on the channel. Megatron takes out Downer.
Dude, that would be that whole night was a highlight reel. Somebody go downstairs, make sure the boat wasn't hit. All you hear is Downer going, "Hey, the water's already up here."
Well, that wasn't we had fun that night though, man. That was fun.
We dominated the skeleton boat.
Yeah.
And we, for some reason, 2 seconds boat went down.
And
2
then
seconds. I went downstairs and it was already filled with water.
30 minutes later, we had another pirate ship come by. They were flying. 2 seconds after they passed by, we just exploded. I mean, the whole boat just, I don't know what happened.
That's right. That dude hopped on board. That dude straight up kamikaze. He hopped on board with a barrel and shot it.
I remember
he blew the whole boat up.
I streamed that. I think it's still there, available to watch. I mean, it was 2 weeks ago actually.
I don't want to watch that shit.
It was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it again. Like, oh my god!
I remember that plain as day because I was running like towards the ship with Jeremy, and yeah, I see like the ship just like fly right past our ship, and then the guy jumps on, and then bam, like it just starts like there's like a huge explosion. Like,
Sea of Thieves can go from 0 to 100 within seconds, man. I love that game, man. So I don't know why you always bash it, Jeremy. It's a good game, damn it. You were fishing and everything, damn it. Leave it alone.
you were fishing. No, he was. Yeah, it's interesting going back to that game after like not playing it for 6 months. I was like, oh dang, there's definitely a lot of new stuff here. But
let me tell you something. Sea of Thieves is like a woman I used to date.
Oh god.
She was nice. She was nice on the outside, but when it got to the nitty gritty on the inside, she was a fucking disaster. And that's what Sea of Thieves is.
Oh my god! So you're saying Sea of Thieves is like
he's never satisfied. So it wasn't her fault; it was his fault, yo.
So you're saying Sea of Thieves is like an ex-girlfriend?
Pretty much.
He's never satisfied.
So you guys remember it wasn't a Twinkies commercial, but it was the Hostess cup. The chocolate cupcake commercial where the shark sees like a donut hole and it's really a fat lady surfing on an inner tube, and he goes up to it and he goes, and the fat lady just pops off the inner tube and the shark's stuck in the boat into the inner tube, and he goes, hey, where's the cream filling? And that's the way I feel about Sea of Thieves. There's no cream filling to the game. So
this just in, Downer says Sea of Thieves has no cream filling.
Yes, but you guys don't remember that commercial?
I remember.
I remember it.
All right,
but yeah, I don't. I feel like if you want me to be absolutely 100% honest about Sea of Thieves, to truly find that cream filling, you got to bring friends. If you're soloing it, you have to be a special individual to do that game.
I've had fun with the damn game solo.
No, I know, but I know. I will definitely say I was able to meet someone on that game one night because I left matchmaking open on accident. And all of a sudden someone's on my boat and I'm just like, oh, great. And he actually turned out to be a really cool guy, showed me how to do a skeleton fort with only 2 people. We actually hung out for a little while. And so I asked him what it was like playing that game by himself. And he said it's like there's almost like a zen to playing the Sea of Thieves by yourself.
Dude, it's so
here's the problem with playing with friends. Downer has no friends, so that asses me out right off the bat.
But you told me you loved me.
I'm sorry. I do love you, Centurion.
You heard his description. You heard his description of his ex, so he'll just leave you in a heartbeat. So
yeah, he's always got some new side fling. It's always heartbreak with Jeremy.
Heartbreak.
But you know what? Speaking of heartbreaks, guys, on that note, I think we're going to end off the show. And guys,
oh, do you see it in the background?
Do you got an American flag with an Xbox glowing symbol on it?
See that? Eee, like that,
dude, I'm gonna mail you a black cowboy hat to wear on stream.
I'm wearing a Montana hat. Look at.
Where's your mask, Jeremy? Where's your anti-coronavirus Acme kit?
Oh, that's awesome. I love how you're like, it's just, piece by piece, you're just adding to it. And the Xbox-ness is definitely in the room. It's illuminating.
We got to give something better than the $3 Division game. Jesus Christ.
We're working on it, my friend, slowly but surely.
Something we can give away. How about we give away this? Hold on one second. Talk amongst yourself. Let me go get it.
Dang.
He's gonna
get something.
Yeah, you're
For a second when I saw him, yeah, never mind.
Where you start twerking.
I was gonna say, as soon as he turned around and bent over,
Those that
I'm
are
like, oh
listening and not
God,
watching,
please tell me
those
this
that are
isn't
listening
going
and not
back.
watching, Jeremy's on camera and he's getting ready to, show us something.
All right.
This is
How about we give away this? And this is pretty cool. This is a Link's Awakening box with shit. Can you see it? It comes with a plush sword, a snapback of Link. Can you see that inside? Let me see here.
Mm-hmm.
The snapback. It comes with the notebook. It comes with some Zelda stickers. It comes with a water bottle of Link, and it comes. Oh my goodness! What did I push? Wow! And it comes with that Switch case, the Zelda. It's a whole Zelda pack. I think we can give that away.
All right. We'll definitely, as soon as the other one's done, we will definitely work on setting something up. All right.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, that's
I'll let you know if I find any more $20 Dreamcast. We can give those away.
Yeah.
all right.
I think that Sea of Thieves is actually less than the Division now. I think it's $2.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I really need to get back into the Division 2. I was really enjoying my time with it.
After this.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it tonight, but
They ruined that rollout.
Did you actually try it out since Megatron got it?
I picked up a copy, so yeah,
Wait a minute. Oh, I got lost. Oh,
but yes, I tried. Yeah, I've spent a few hours with it. It's really cool. I've enjoyed my time with it so far. So, for $3, hard to really complain.
oh, dude, I know everybody has been like buying that game for $3 just to try it out, see if it's their cup of tea.
It's a solid game. I think last year though, the rollout was just terrible. Like you were hitting a wall way sooner than I did in Division 1.
Well, there's also a lot of There's also a lot of backlash over the new DLC not being part of what it looks to be not part of the season pass.
Oh, really? Oof.
Yeah, because if you actually look, there's the Warlords of New York edition of the Division 2, and it comes with the season pass and the DLC. And I've read on a couple forums that yes, that Warlords of New York, at least from what I'm reading, is not part of the season 1 pass, which has created a bunch of complaining, we'll call it. But yeah, people aren't happy with that.
So how about we do this instead? How about we give away $3 as opposed to giving away the Division that's $3? I feel better about that than I.
Let's give the damn game away. Leave it alone. We'll figure something out for better giveaways. Definitely.
Wait. Okay. I want to know whose idea was it to give away the $3 Division? That's the major concern here. Invader, did you do that? Don't fucking lie to me, Invader. Did you do that?
It was agreed upon by me and another person.
I want to know who that other person is because
I have a feeling I know who.
Listen, if you guys brainstorm that's even worse right there because
shit just happens.
I want to know. I want names, Invader. After we get off this pathetic podcast, I want names
for you, Jeremy.
You should have waited till it's not $3 anymore, and then gave it away.
That'd make me feel better.
Like buy it now for $3 and give it away when it goes back up.
There will be much better giveaways, so don't worry.
No, but don't worry, guys.
But Invader, that's concerning, Invader. It's really concerning.
You're concerning.
Yes,
agreed.
But anyways, guys, we really excellent show tonight. We're gonna head off now, and again, as usual, we had a really awesome, lively chat going on. Shout out to everybody that joined us live because there was a lot of discussion going on. Hazard Man, thank you for joining us. I believe it was your first time with us this evening. Thank you very much. I'm Mill. Thank you for joining us. Other Zinc, Logic Wins, Jordan James. I know Supersonic Station was in here, and Monkey. Abacab72, thank you very much, my friend. Shizno Elite, always a good site. Lots and lots of really cool people. Thank you for joining us. It was a wonderful show. Great to have you here. And hey, guys, if you happen to like the show, then definitely share it out and subscribe to keep up with things TXR. Now, hey, let's get to the panel member outros. And Shock, hey, man, fantastic stuff. Great comments this evening. Where can people find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at Shock Nero on Twitter. Easy Shock on Xbox Live, but I'm never on it like Downer always says.
Indeed. Speaking of Downer, buddy, appreciate your thoughts tonight, especially about,
Not really.
Well, I was about to say, I do usually appreciate your thoughts tonight, but towards the end there, man. Thanks for ripping me. Where can everybody find you at?
I'll tell you one thing you're ripping our freaking listeners giving away that $3 Division game. And you can't. So look at.
Okay, make it 2 copies.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find me anywhere because I'm going to be in a bunker because this coronavirus is going to kill all you motherfuckers. So
Probably. Don't worry.
I'm just kidding.
If your coworker gets it, he's coming to work to give it to you.
Oh my goodness.
People don't stay home, man. They don't stay home when they're sick here.
Yeah, it's true. Same over here. But yeah, Centurion, always awesome stuff. Where can everybody find you at, bud?
Oh, well, everybody can always find me kicking it right here on this awesome podcast we have every Sunday night where we just talk about games and make each other laugh. Rios will be found on Saltiest Gaming on Thursdays nights, Shop Podcast on Saturday nights, and you can also find me on social media platforms like YouTube, Xbox Live, and Twitter at Centurion1307.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Mhm.
And of course, Megatron, my partner in crime, obviously, according to Jeremy. Great show tonight. Where can everybody follow you at?
Oh man, as usual. You hit me up on Xbox Live. Megatron1's my gamer tag. Looking for some shipmates. And you can hit me up on Twitter. Megatron_1975. That's it.
All right, good stuff. And of course, I'm Invader. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Invader_1986. And I got a YouTube channel at you can go search it for Invader Gaming. Guys, fantastic show. Thanks for coming out. And we cannot wait to talk to you next week, next Sunday. See you, fellas.